Here is a 52-inch Hampton Bay Nassau, or however you pronounce it, ceiling fan in natural iron finish, 5 all-weather polished teak ABS plastic leaf blades, frosted opal glass, 160 watt equivalent medium base CFL bulb included. So that kind of dates this a little bit. I don't remember exactly when this surfaced. I don't think so that it was in the 2001 catalog, but I do remember seeing this in the Hampton Bay catalogs, and the light globe in particular, for whatever reason, always stood out to me. The shape and the texture and the color was kind of interesting to me. So I have been on the lookout for one of these, and this one surfaced on the digitan Goodwill. So it arrived, and as is pretty typical for the stuff I get from there, it was packed pretty well. It was in a second box with shredded cardboard all around it for padding and everything. Perfectly reasonable. But there was a fatality, and the fatality was somebody put the pull chain fobs and some screws loosely inside the globe, which broke the globe. Duh. I don't know why on earth that was done, but that's what happened. So I wrote a message over there, and the representative responded promptly, asked for a couple of pictures of the problem, and refunded the entire purchase, including shipping. So this was free, minus whatever it's going to cost me to replace, or I guess plus whatever it's going to cost me to replace the globe, if I can even find a replacement. These globes are very non-standard. So this was a little disappointing to me when I first opened it, because the picture shows like an entirely black fan, and this is not black at all. This is like a almost tacky painted brown kind of finish. This is not at all what I expected. But we've got 5 of these blades. They're in okay condition. Good enough that you probably wouldn't notice much of any damage once it's up on the ceiling. Now these are the finished color I was expecting. I don't know, something just looks weird to me. In the picture the whole thing is this color, but you know, whatever. So there's the blades. The irons were not wrapped individually, so they're a little bit scratched up, but the good thing is I can get black spray paint and repaint them, and it would look pretty much normal. These actually have some pretty serious pitch to them. That's pretty good for such a big blade. So I guess this probably moves a good amount of air. According to the box, it moves 5,125 CFM on high. I think those ratings are kind of worthless, because they seem to be very inconsistent. Now all the bags are here. Why not just take an extra 2 minutes to put it inside the bag? Irons look like they're all in pretty good shape. I can't tell if this was used or not. The screws are painted. They don't look like they've ever been turned. Normally all the paint gets scratched up when you drive one of these screws in that are painted like that, but they don't seem like they've ever been used. Actually, this screw kind of looks like it's been used. See how it's missing the paint there in one part? I don't know. If this was used, it was assembled and disassembled reasonably well, which is rare. Here's the light. I don't know if this is old enough to come with a switch cap also. It's probably not. Here's a CFL. I don't know if it's the original one that it came with or not. This is an Echo Smart, which is a Home Depot brand, I believe. So quite possibly this is the CFL that it came with. This is it's a 14 watts CFL, which would be a 60 watts equivalent to incandescent. And it doesn't look like it's ever been used. Here's the mounting hardware. The bracket is and the bracket looks like it was installed at some point. It's like powder coated, probably for outdoor use. There's a miscellaneous common wire in there. That's a little concerning. Oh, there's also a miscellaneous high side. Here's the down rod. It's a little 3-inch rod. Metal ball. Little plastic junk. Upper canopy. Canopy ring. And here's the motor, which is going to need to be repainted. It's got a lot of corrosion on there, which is kind of weird. I can't tell if that's corrosion or the paint's just flaking off. This housing, compared to the rest of the fan, feels extremely cheap and flimsy. I can't tell what size motor it has, but it's got some weight to it. It's probably a 188. Bearings are a little noisy. I bet this was probably installed outside. There's our date code, 2006. So it was likely purchased in the summer of 2006. It's 0206. Although then here it says 0207. So maybe it was purchased in the summer of 2007. I don't know. What is the OEM of this thing? The UL number is 23F8. I'm sure somebody can determine where it was, what OEM made it. Yeah, this is all kind of corroded here. It's just a shame because it's not like a flat black. It's almost like a speckled finish. Kind of a nice finish, actually. Kind of unique. It's not picking up that good on the camera. I mean, it would look fine in just plain black, but it wouldn't be perfectly original. I'd have to go over the whole housing. But yeah, 2006, that would explain why it's a little cheap. Feels a little cheap. These things are definitely going downhill by 2006. Although they still weren't too bad yet. And then here's the problem. Here's the fatality. All those screws and everything in there banging around during shipping got multiple holes in the globe. So that really stinks. This globe actually feels very cheap as well. It's very, very thin glass. But yeah, I don't know. I think the only way to potentially find a replacement would probably be to go on the stupid e-ripoff and try to find one there for a fortune. probably end up paying more than what I paid for the fan originally. But and you really can't use it like that. I'm not sure I'd even trust this to not break even further. You can see it's got some cracking. Is that cracking? Oh no, it's not cracking. I don't know. It is starting to crack down there. I don't think I would trust using that. So that stinks. At least it didn't cost anything, but now I have something that's not super useful. Well, I'll see what we can do about this. I will try to find some a replacement globe. I could always just put any random globe on there just to use it, but it sure wouldn't look the way that I remember it in the catalog without this particular globe. This is very odd that somebody kept the box and all this plastic film after installing it. That is extremely rare. I have no idea what the history of this thing is, but sure would be interesting to know. I feel like this is almost for some kind of temporary setup or something. Well, I've got one now, but it needs parts.